Arg, mateys. What am I? That's right, I'm a pirate. Because what are we talking about today?
We're talking about pirates.
Yay.
In particular, we're talking about the game from Firelock Games. We're talking about the experience from Firelock Games. It be Blood and Plunder.
Avast ye. That's right. We're back talking about Blood and Plunder again.
Blood and Plunder, again.
We've done this before. Now, before we get too much into Blood and Plunder, I would like to first point out the fact that you guys have never seen this shirt before. This is a new shirt. I've had it for a long time. I've just never worn it on the channel. I have other shirts, so there's no need to buy any for me. It's the only one.
Look, don't be writing people off buying you shirts. You could double your wardrobe.
That's true.
If 3 people offer to send you a shirt, you double your wardrobe.
If you want to donate to my shirt fund, comment down below and we'll set that up. But anyway, Blood and Plunder.
Blood and Plunder. As our regulars know, we did an unboxing of the Blood and Plunder Get Started and Get Addicted set a little while back. We'll put the link to that particular video in the description of this one. Mm-hmm. But we had the luck of having Firelock Games send us one of their expansion books for Blood and Plunder.
Yes.
And it is really cool. And we thought we would take a little bit of time to go over said expansion. It is called Raise the Black.
Raise the Black, mate.
Now, just to make sure everyone understands, this is not a rule book per se. To actually play Blood and Plunder, you need to buy the rule book. Sure. This is just an expansion. It gives you lots of more. It gives you a lot more options in terms of factions that you can play, units that you can have in your factions. It has scenarios and things like that. But we're going to go over some of the contents of this because I think it's actually really cool. We're not going to teach you how to play Blood and Plunder if you're looking for that. We strongly suggest that you go to Firelock Games' YouTube channel because we'll
link it down below.
Yeah, we'll put a link to the first one at least, or maybe even just to their channel in general. And they have a good series of how to play videos for Blood and Plunder.
Just for anybody who doesn't know, it's a miniatures-based game with pirates and pirate ships. That's all it is. 28mm figures with ships. I have built 2 so far. I have 1 more to build. I have built a Bermuda sloop. That's this bad boy right here. And Alexander and his brother got me this Tartana for my birthday. Yes.
Yes? Okay. They got it for me at some point, which I just recently finished putting together. So my fleet is expanding.
Indeed.
But we will touch on that just a little bit as we discuss Raise the Black for Blood and Plunder by Firelock Games. So let's just jump right in. Let's walk the plank. Splash. I wish.
Wow.
Sorry, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. It's been a long day.
That's okay. It's fine.
So, I'm going to let Raise the Black do a little bit of its own talking. Just to give you an idea, it's probably better for me to let them give you an idea, and that is right here in the introduction of this book. Blood and Plunder Raise the Black is the next expansion to the Blood and Plunder skirmish level tabletop miniatures game, Blood and Plunder. This book will take the timeline of Blood and Plunder into the exciting world of the early 18th century and covers the period of 1700 to 1730. This is the age of the First Great Imperial War, known in the Americas as Queen Anne's War, where the British, Dutch, French, and Spanish fight for control of the New World from the jungles of Suriname to the far frozen north of Canada.
Is it World War I? Is this the true World War I? Important questions.
Before I was interrupted, I'm going to continue now. It is also the age of the true Pirates of the Caribbean, of Blackbeard and Roberts, Rackham and Vane. Fighting under the flag of no authority but their own, the pirates will launch themselves upon the shipping of the New World from their base at Nassau, bringing terror and destruction to the high seas.
Cool.
So again, to reiterate, want to make this clear, this is not a standalone rule book. A copy of the Blood and Plunder rule book will be required to use this book. And again, Blood and Plunder takes the timeline into the 18th century. So 1700 to 1730 is really where what this book is concerned with. Now, a real quick overview of Blood and Plunder. As Alexander was saying, it's a miniatures war game. What you do is you choose a faction. Factions can be anything that can be related to a particular nationality. So you might do the British, you might do the Dutch. But underneath that, your faction might be the British Navy, might be the British Army, might be a British militia, might be Spanish militia, could be, in this case, could be Native Americans. So you have to choose one of those factions. What this book does is it gives you a lot of new elements to add into your factions. So it gives you units to add into your factions. And they really kind of went deep on this, which is really cool. One of the first things you encounter, like we talked about in the Blood and Plunder original rules in the basic set the 2-player basic set or starter set that I have, in that book there, in the rule book there, they go into pretty heavy detail about the history of piracy in the Caribbean, or actually in the New World in general. They do the same thing here, only this is a bit more specific from 1688 to 1730. It's entitled A Brief Recapitulation of Events from Queen Anne's War to the Rise of Piracy. And then, like I say, it starts in 1688. Every year, every couple of years, even sometimes a few entries per year, it gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It gives you like 18 pages worth of history from that era and from that geographic location.
Yeah.
So let's say 1726, in December, Admiral Hosier lifts his blockade of Portobello. Disease has ravaged his crews. An expanded 2-volume edition of Johnson's History of the Pirates is published, adding the histories of more than a dozen additional pirates. It's that kind of thing, but it also talks about attacks and when cities were sacked and whatever, to give you a real in-depth understanding of the history that you're going to be playing.
The real history.
The real history that you are playing.
Then you can go nuts from there. You don't have to keep it historically
exactly. You don't have to follow. There's not a specific thing that you have to do other than this game gives you the opportunity to say, gosh, I've always wanted to run Spanish militia, or have an army of Spanish militia and see how well they would do against an army of Cherokee Indians. You can do that kind of thing if you want to. There's really no limit. It's just your imagination. But for those of us who are history-minded, and really, imagination. For those of you who are history-minded, like us, it gives you the opportunity to use your imagination of history and play it in a game.
Yeah.
Which, to me, there's nothing
which is
better.
super dumb and boring.
Really,
who would ever want to play with little pirate toys and be pirates?
Or in my case right now, my British regulars from the British Army. That's my new faction that I'm pushing. Anyway, the book starts out by talking about pirates. And again, as it mentioned, this is the high era of piracy.
Yeah. Pirates of the Caribbean.
There you go.
If you want imagery, Pirates of the Caribbean.
There you go. Yeah, put that in your head. Listen to Jim tell a story. It talks about, that's the first thing that you come across. It talks about pirates. And there are about 2 pages of discussion of what led to piracy in the Caribbean at this time period. But then it drops into the different factions of pirates that you can play. So, for instance, you have the first one is the Flying Gang, operated from 1714 to 1717. It gives you some special rules that they get to use because they're who they are. But it also gives you the units that you would use to make up your faction. In this case, your core units that and let me a brief explanation. What you do when you create your faction is you're given X numbers of points. And you get to spend those points purchasing different units to put into your faction or commanders to put into your faction. So both players get, say, 10 points. They might get 7 points, might get 4 points. Depending on how many points you have, you spend them to create the unit or the faction that you will be fighting with.
You do the same thing in Warhammer, I'm pretty
sure.
Same
thing there. Yeah. Same thing with Saga, one of our favorites. It's a point-based build your faction system. Mm-hmm. The Flying Gang, for instance, your core units are English Sea Dogs, English Jamaican Privateers, or Pirates. And then you can have support units that are French, Dutch, pressed men, African warriors, roundsmen, European sailors, etc., etc. Then you get command options. So you can choose your commander. And then you have some extra things that your force gets to use that other forces might not get to use. It's just like, it's what gives them their edge. Mm-hmm. Anyway, factions of pirates: the Flying Gang, Blackbeard's Men, Golden Age pirates, which is more of a catch-all for pirates. Then you move into pirate commanders, which is really cool because, again, they give you information, biographical information about these different specific commanders for your pirates, which is a lot of fun.
That's pretty cool.
So the first one you come across, for instance, is this is Pirate Commander Benjamin Hornigold. And it gives a biography of him, and then it tells how he is armed and what he can do to assist his men in the unit of your faction, or to assist your faction. So there are a number of different pirates listed, including, they have legendary pirate commanders. So for Blackbeard, they have a lot of biography on him, but then they also give the statistics that he brings to your fighting faction. But there are a number of other legendary pirate commanders. Charles Vane, there is Stade Bonnet, or Stade Bonnet, I guess I should say. Calico Jack Rackham. Then they also get to Black Bart Roberts, Black Sam Bellamy, Black Caesar, Anne Bonny, Mary Reed. And then they give you your pirate units. And I'll put a screenshot up on here. That just tells you how your pirates units operate within your faction. So it covers pirates. Then we move on to the Spanish.
Español.
And the Spanish, they have, again, a history of the Spanish in the New World from 1700 to 1730. And a description of what they were doing and what they were about and what they controlled and et cetera, et cetera. But then they moved directly into the Spanish factions. First one is the Spanish Army. You can play the Spanish Army. You can play the Guardacostas. You can play the Reformed Spanish Militia. You can play, there was one more, there are a number that you can play, but there's another one, Pargos Marineros. So then you move into the Spanish commanders. Same thing as before with the pirates. They've got historic commanders that you can attach to your force to be able to assist them in various ways, because they all have different powers, if you will. Mm-hmm. And then they have a section for the Spanish units themselves and what their abilities are, so that everything is set into a certain area, so you don't have to hunt throughout the book to find out. If you want to do Spanish, you've got it all in one location. Anyway, you can play all kinds of different, you can bring all kinds of different units into your Spanish faction. Then you get into the British, which I have chosen to play, and I'm doing the British Army. And so I have been painting up British regulars. I've been painting up British Grenadiers. I've got a number of Native Americans Native American warriors that I will have join them as support units. And then the only thing I really need to do is I need to come up with a commander that I'm going to be bringing to bear. And so the ones that there are not a lot of options on that. I can have a standard British commander, or I can have James Moore or Francis Nicholson. So I'm going to have to be choosing one of the two of them.
They're tough to choose between.
Exactly. They have rules for the French. They have history and rules for French factions.
Oui.
They have history and rules for, wait for it, the Dutch.
Max Verstappen. Dutch.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
I don't think he was here, though.
Probably not. I don't think he'd... No.
I don't think he was. The Dutch factions, you can be Dutch Marines, Dutch Caribbean Militia. Then they have a number, they have one or two. No, they've got 3 Dutch commanders, which is cool. Then you have, after you leave the Dutch, I'm not trying to shortchange the Dutch, by the way. You move into the Native American factions.
Very cool.
And this is really cool to me. And it says, just a brief read here, the decades immediately before and after the turn of the 18th century were full of upheaval and tragedy for the many native peoples in North America. As the presence of the various European colonies increased in number and population from Louisiana to the Carolinas to Quebec, The native tribes faced new challenges, opportunities, and threats that would change their ways of living in profound ways. But you can be any one of a number of tribal factions. You can play the Creek, which I think is really cool. The Tuscarora, the Chickasaw, the Choctaw, the Cherokee, the Yamasee, general Northeast Woodland tribes, the Iroquois, the Wabanaki, and then you've got Native American commanders. So part of me is really looking forward to taking this and getting into that Northeast America faction, or Northeast America fighting.
Well, that's
because that's an area that there is, I think there are a couple of games that touch on this. I'm going to use the Blood and Plunder rules to actually expand on that in my gaming.
You could throw out the piracy thing entirely and just do some of this stuff.
Then we have individual characters that you can bring in to play in your game. So they function in the same way as commanders. They give special benefits to the faction that you've attached them to, or to the units that you've attached them to. You can have an expert scout. You can have a canoe assault expert.
That's pretty cool.
There is the scheming quartermaster, Native American emissary, the bosun, a mission priest, sharp-eyed lookout, a cook, etc., a surgeon, a drummer boy. So they have various special rules that allow you to better your unit, or in some cases it might not be as beneficial as you might think. Then, of course, we move into the ships.
The boats.
And they give a history of the specific type of ship that you might be wanting to use. So it goes from frigates, which is probably next on my purchase list.
I think so.
They have the Tartana, which is what we have here.
Wow.
Hold up the Tartana. They can't
Take a look, folks. Check out the Tartana.
So it has the history of that. The Tartana was a small craft of originally Mediterranean origin that was adapted and built locally in the West Indies by the French and particularly Spanish colonists. Wow. So, but it gives you, there's more to that, but it gives you the history, and then it gives you all of the stats, again, of the ship itself. There they have a Balandra, which I have not built yet. I have, but I have not built yet. It was one of the ships that came with my starter set. And then we have also the Bermuda sloop.
The Bermuda sloop.
And then they give a few advanced ship upgrades and traits that are a little bit above and beyond what you had in the basic rules. Then toward the end of the book, you get scenarios. So it gives you some things that you can do when you're playing the game. I'll just give you the titles of these. One of them is A Wanted Man. So basically you're trying to track somebody down. I guess I have not read these in depth all the way through yet. There are quite a few of these. There's one that's called Chase's End. There's one called The Storm.
Oh, cool. A lot of it's just where you align your ships.
And how things are set up, like with coastlines, where the wind is blowing, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then it gives you your objectives. There is an amphibious assault. There is capture the surgeon. So both of you are going and trying to get a surgeon to serve on board your ship. Capture the settlement. One person is defending a settlement. The other person's coming in by sea to attack and capture it or sack it. And then you have one called Total War, which you need to have in every scenario.
That sounds pretty
fun.
Scenarios. That's the one I want to play.
Beached ship.
Oh, cool.
A wanted man, hostage raid, ambush, another Total War, capture the settlement.
This is crazy.
So, and then they've also got appendices. So there's another book that came out before this one. And it is called No Peace Beyond the Line. And that's the expansion that carries the timeline of the game through to 1700. So Raise the Black is actually after that one. But in the appendices of Raise the Black, they bring forward all of the new units that were introduced in No Peace Beyond the Line. They have those in here, so you can use those units without having that book. You can use those units in your Raise the Black scenarios. So
it's a cool book.
It is really something. And see, some of the other games they have Blood and Valor.
It's a World War I.
World War One, I believe, or I mean, it kind of looks like Boer War, but I think it's World War One, yeah. And Oak and Iron, which is ship to ship
smaller ships, yeah.
Anyway, Raise the Black from Firelock Games. And yeah, we were sent the book for free, but I'm not hawking the thing. We're not selling it. We're not making any money off of it.
No.
But it's cool. Blood and Plunder
cool
is a really cool game, and there are a lot of neat things. If you're into historic adjacent wargaming, they go all out in giving you the history that is adjacent to the game that you're playing, which makes it a lot of fun if you're history-minded.
And if you're ever interested in trying Blood and Plunder, it's a really common game at conventions.
I've seen it a lot. I've seen a lot of people playing it.
A lot, yeah. So there's a really good chance you get to try it out there. A lot of game stores have been running games of it because it is kind of growing in popularity as one of the main miniatures games. But just go check out their website.
Yeah.
See what's available. See if it's something you'd like to explore some more, because it really is a lot of fun.
Or watch some online play.
Yeah.
There are a number of people who have online games that they've put out there for people to watch. Go watch some of those Blood and Plunder online games and see if it's something that trips your trigger or I could go on, but I'm not going to.
Or fires your camp.
I was going to say that, but I thought that wouldn't be the...
That would be too far.
That's going a bit too far.
Yes.
Anyway, thought you would be interested. Raise the Black by Firelock Games, expansion for Blood and Plunder. We'll put some information in the details of this video so that you can check it out a little bit further.
Indeed we will.
That's all I've got.
That's all I've got. Look at all the stuff in the description below.
Yep.
Thank
my
you.
British regular back over here.
Thank you for watching, and thank you for your unending support of the Old Warlock.
Yes. I'm Jim.
I'm Alex.
Keep your sword on free.
Bye.
Or keep your cutlass free.
Arg, matey.
Arg.